mom tips, because we gotta give the tips for the people.
That you really have to have an expectation that you're not going to get to everything.
And here we have Jillian from Hooked on Royal. Thank you so much, Jillian, for joining the podcast today.
Yes, it's so good to see you.
It's wonderful. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Jillian on a cruise, which was fantastic because meeting people in the community, it's a great community. And there's a lot of love for cruising, and getting to meet people one-on-one is a really great experience. So I'm glad we got to meet. I'm glad you're here today. I really
Me
appreciate
too.
it.
I've been looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
And I think what I've been really looking forward to is the topic that we're going to be discussing today. So you are a mom. How many kids do you have?
So we have 2 boys, 2 and 4 years old.
They're so young. That's so sweet. You may know, but I actually grew up on cruises, and specifically on Royal. So with your username, Hooked on Royal, I think we're going to have a great discussion about kids on a cruise, as well as my perspective of growing up as a kid on a cruise. What led to, though, the idea of Hooked on Royal? It seems you're definitely a Royal Caribbean fan.
Yeah, so we've really only cruised on Royal Caribbean. And we think that it's so great with families, and we wanted to share all of our experiences with everybody. And we've been on so many different Royal Caribbean ships, and we absolutely love it. So we figured that was such a perfect concept to share our adventures once we were on the ships.
Oh my goodness. I definitely agree that Royal Caribbean is really great for families. So you've only tried Royal Caribbean. Have you tried any other cruise lines actually with the kids?
Nope, only Royal Caribbean.
You know what? I think you landed pretty fairly on that. What led to that decision of choosing Royal Caribbean?
My husband's family loved Royal Caribbean and they spoke about it all the time. So we actually went on one cruise without kids, and then the world shut down and we planned all these cruises, just me and my husband. And then everything shut down and we weren't able to do it. And then as soon as our first son turned 6 months, we were like, we have to get back on cruises. So since Royal Caribbean was always in the family, we were like, oh, let's start with them and then see how we like it.
That's really interesting. So you started cruising with the kids post the pandemic. That's
Yes.
really interesting. I grew up in the kids club pre-pandemic, and I was really actually interested in learning about what does the kids club look like post-pandemic, because I have like so many stories from pre-pandemic.
So our boys actually have never been to Adventure Ocean. So on the cruises,
Okay.
they're always with us, but they have been in like the open play areas in Adventure Ocean. They've been like on the playscapes. They've been in the splash pad. So they've immersed themselves on every single activity on the ship. They just have never stepped foot technically into Adventure Ocean, which is so interesting because you grew up with that. So it's fun to hear your stories with it, to maybe give me the courage to, send them to Adventure Ocean, because really, unless we have Nana coming with us, the boys are kind of with us all the time. So
Right.
there's ups and downs to both of it.
You know, that's a really good point. There's so many things in what you just said that we can really dive into. So first, for those who aren't aware, Adventure Ocean is the name of the kids club that Royal Caribbean has on the ship. So they have different groups of like rooms that are dedicated to different age groups. So similar age kids get to play with each other, interact. They host a bunch of different events, activities, and just throughout the day, so that the kids can go and play while you go eat at a nice restaurant, or just chill, go by the pool, whatever. You can have a little bit of separation there. I think it is really interesting though, because Royal Caribbean, they offer so much more than just that. Like you mentioned, like the splash pad areas. Royal Caribbean is so well known for their activities. In my opinion, I think they are probably the best cruise line for families and kids, which is great that you chose them and landed on them, because I think it was a perfect pick for them. With that though, I do think with Adventure Ocean, there's a lot of positives. And I think there's a hesitancy with a lot of parents actually about letting their kids into Adventure Ocean. Sometimes I log on to social media and some people are like, don't let your kids there. And, like I can't speak to the things that they say on social media or anything, but my experience growing up was only positive, actually. I think it shaped me into the person that I am today because it gave me a lot of social skills. When you board that ship, you don't know anyone, right? That sets you up, and it can be daunting. Don't get me wrong, but it sets you up for, by the end of the cruise, you are stronger coming out of it, and you've been able to practice those skills.
Yes, and they're going to be that age group where they're going to be 3 and 5, and they'll actually be able to go together. And I would think that they want to, because when we go in the open play areas, they always see them coloring, drawing, playing games, and they always want to explore it. So I think once they get to that age group of 3 and 5 and they could be in there together, they're not going to want to leave because they always enjoy themselves on the ships. They never want the cruise to end.
I remember my parents would always kind of get a little annoyed with me. Not annoyed, but I would just never want to leave because there's this game that Royal Caribbean hosts, but it's called Gagaball. It's basically like dodgeball, but on the floor. But I love that. I would stay until like post close, and my parents would be like, "Come on, like you gotta go to bed." And I'm just like, "I gotta finish this game. Like it's important to me." So I was that kid that once I was there, you could not get me out of there.
Right.
So I think what's really interesting is there are parents who don't mind, and then there are parents who choose to like let their kids stay with them throughout the cruise. And there's no right or wrong answer, of course. But what would your advice be as a parent? Because I'm not a parent, but as a parent, what would your advice be for choosing or allowing your kid to set their own path?
Right. I think it all depends on your vacation, what you want to do. I know that when we do have the help of Nana coming on the cruise, it's so nice to be able to go out and enjoy dinners. We love the specialty restaurants, to get a show in and to do those things. But then also at the same time with kids, no matter what time you go to sleep, they're going to be up at 7 a.m. and they're going to be ready for their day. So it's a give and take. I would say if you want that time to be able to go to shows, go to the schooner bar, go and hang out, let the kids have that opportunity and let them go, like you said, make friends, have a great time. I think that it's all on how parents want to plan out their vacation, and you can pick and choose. Maybe one night you send them and then the next night you're together and you do a show with them. That's the best part about cruising is the flexibility. You make your own vacation.
I think that's a beautiful point, actually, is like a fine balance, because part of vacation is also that family bond, right? And being able to share those memories with your kids. There's so many opportunities for like family get-togethers. So the flexibility, like you said, is phenomenal in that case. So it's like when you do want a break, you can get that break. When you want to recoup as a family, you're able to do that as well.
Exactly.
Point.
Right.
So let's talk about like cruising as a whole in general. What do you believe are the pros and cons of a cruise specifically compared to like other vacations for your kids?
Right. I think the best part is as a mom, we're all planners. So I really feel that it's so nice that you get to plan before the cruise. You set everything up, you decide what you're doing. So then once you step on that ship, you get to enjoy vacation. Like the hard work is done for you beforehand. So when you're on the ship, you get to enjoy everything that the ship offers. And the fact that you have everything, you have the food options, you have things for them to do, you have entertainment. For me, it's an all-in-one vacation, and then we can decide how we want that to go. So I think that offers everything when it comes to cruising, and especially now with kids. Like the boys are eating us out of the house, so going on the ship, they have all the snacks, they have all the food, like they have everything. Yes, they have everything that they love right there in one place. And for us, I know some people like destination is important, but for us being on the ship, that's what's important. We get off a perfect day, of course, but really we stay on the ship. So it has everything that we need all in one place. And I think that that's a huge benefit for parents.
So there's less like moving parts, Like you have
Yes.
to think about and consider, like it's very all inclusive. I think that's a very attractive part to cruises in general. Do you feel like traveling to these destinations will help your kids be more cultured and more aware of the world and just educated in that aspect?
Oh, definitely. And I think that it builds a lot of character, especially on the first day. It's a long day. So they have to have a lot of patience with things. So that definitely helps. And then the crew has been absolutely the best. There's so much diversity on the ship. They've made so many friends. We have crew members that we still talk to. We see them on different ships. So they're building relationships. They're meeting other kids, other families. It's just so great for everybody to experience.
That's a really good point. The crew, they can really like make or break your vacation. With Royal Caribbean, the service has always been top notch. Gotta give them points for that. That's for sure.
And especially with kids too. I mean, they go above and beyond with the kids. They make
Yeah.
sure that they're having a good time. If they need anything, even as parents, like if you drop something, they're picking it up. Can we help you out? So the crew really, they always go above and beyond on every single ship we've been on.
Yeah, that's the good thing about Royal Caribbean. They set the standard very high in that aspect. What do you
Yes.
think about entertainment? Because Royal Caribbean has also set a very high standard for entertainment in the cruising industry. Do you feel like the entertainment caters towards the kids, or do you find that there's a lot of options for them?
So we mostly cruise on Oasis class ships. We have been on the smaller ships, but for the most part, we're on Oasis class ships that offers everything. They have parades in the promenade. They have the pirate one. They have the effectors. Both of our boys love the effectors. They love the superheroes. So they are so into the effectors, which I also love that they connect them throughout the ships. So you go on Wonder, you go on Utopia, you go on Icon, and they're constantly seeing the effectors on different ships, which are really cool. They love the aqua shows. They love the diving and the music and everything. Ice skating. I mean, they have so much for them. Even on the boardwalk, they do like that family fun fest where they have cotton candy and games and so much for them to do. I mean, even as simple as trivia. They have kids trivia. They have kids karaoke. So there's such a wide variety of whatever families want to do. Because that cruise planner is packed. Like they have something every single hour. But again, it's that flexibility. You don't have to go and do everything. But if you want to, it's there for you, which is absolutely great.
Royal Caribbean has never missed the mark on being able to find plenty of things to do, no matter who you are. Something that I've noticed in recent years is I feel like they've slowly started catering towards younger generations. And I say that particularly with like the shows and the music. Because I noticed a lot of times there was music from the 80s or 90s. That's
Yes.
not a problem at all. I grew up with that music. My dad always plays that sort of music, like in the house. I know it very
Right.
smart, like easy. But I've noticed over the years, they're slowly making it more like, actually, hey, I've heard that on the radio. Like, I do know that song, genuinely.
Right.
So I think they're really honing in on getting that younger audience hooked. I gotta
That's
put
right.
a button with your username. Getting them hooked on Royal for sure. Let's segue just a little bit. Let's talk about the challenges, because Royal Caribbean caters super well for the kids, but what are some of the challenges of going on a cruise with younger children?
Yes, I would say that you really have to have an expectation that you're not going to get to everything. So when the boys were young, you kind of have to pick and choose what you want because, like I said, one, they're up already at 7 o'clock in the morning, and two, if they don't have their naps, they're really cranky. So you definitely have to prioritize the things that you want and just know that you're not going to get to everything. I remember the first time we brought my son on, I was so worried about, oh, if he's not at his normal bedtime when we get home, it's going to be crazy. But he acclimated so well when we were back home. So I think that sometimes we just expect too much and then we get upset that we can't do things. And just know that if you just have a day at the pool, or if there's a meltdown because they can't get ice cream at that point, everybody's going through that on the ship. You know what I mean? So there are going to be times where you're upset about that ice cream cone and you want more.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, even as a 23-year-old, if I didn't get my ice cream, I'd be pretty upset too. Like,
Right.
I completely understand.
Yes. And you know, you just have chill days. Like, not every day has to be nonstop. And what we've learned is that if you are really looking forward to something, like the boys love Coco Cay, they love going there to the splash pad, the pool, the beach, then maybe the day before you just have a nice chill day on the ship. You don't have to get everything done. So I think that as long as you go into it knowing that there will be challenges, there will be days that they don't get the best sleep, they're going to be cranky, but in the end, they're going to have the best time of their life. As parents, I would say give yourself some leniency. It's okay. It's okay that everything's not going to go perfect.
I love that. I think there's just a large message just there. Just, vacation, just go with the flow.
Yes.
Even as an adult, like, just go with the flow, see what happens, but just enjoy yourself. You can't stress the little details. Speaking of Coco Cay, I really love that you mentioned that. It's fantastic. I remember when that place looked very different to what it currently does. But I think they've really catered that towards kids too. What do your kids usually do when they're on the island?
So right away, they go to the splash pad. That is like their number one stop. Like, we run right there. They get all their energy out. My youngest is actually tall enough now to go on the slides over there. So now they get to go on together. And it was so cute last time we were there. They were like holding hands, going down like the big wide one in the middle. So they absolutely love that. And then they have to make their way to Oasis pool. That's their second stop all the time. We got them a little football to throw in the pool now. So they're all about that.
Nice.
And then after that, they're all into the food. They have to get their mozzarella sticks, their cheeseburgers. We go to the snack shack over there. They get their little funnel cake, French fries. So they have their routines. They're not huge into the beach, which, some families are, some are, but it's nice that the beach is there too. But they love the whole splash pad pool, the eats. They're all about that.
Yeah, lots of options just on the island itself. Honestly, it's just a whole other vacation in and of itself, which is great. Absolutely. You mentioned food. Are your kids picky eaters by chance?
So my 4-year-old eats absolutely everything. When we go to Chops, his order is shrimp cocktail, filet.
Oh,
he's fancy. Yes. And then my 2-year-old, he's more of the French fries, cheeseburger, mac and cheese. But I will say, being on the cruises and having him see his brother eating more options, he's actually starting to get better with the options. Like, he'll order shrimp cocktail now to try it out. He'll have like the fruits instead of like the cakes and the ice creams. So I do think exposing them to all the varieties that they offer has really helped.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. Those are milestones.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I think for me, even just growing up on ships, that absolutely changed the way I view food, in the sense that I will eat anything. If there's something I haven't tried, I will try it. Because one, there's a lot of complimentary food. You gotta, it's free. May as well try it. But I think it just opens you up to the possibility of trying so many new things. And I think it actually made me not a picky eater, thankfully. So, hey, take your kids early when they're younger.
And we go, I know some people love the main dining and some people love Windjammer, which we love both, but we also love the specialty restaurants. Yeah. So they've tried lobster, you know what I mean? They've tried all the Italian foods. They love spaghetti bolognese. So there's so many different options that they can try when they're on the ship. It's endless opportunities to try new things.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And cruising is really about trying new things. Speaking of, do you think, this is the fun question of the day, do you think you will ever let them go on the flow rider?
I actually want to go on the flow rider, but I don't have the courage to go on it.
Me too.
But but they definitely will want to go on that, like 100%. They go by it all the time and they're like, oh, look, that's so cool. So I definitely think when they can go on it, they will go on it. And that will be like an every time we're on the ship, like they're going to want to
Oh my
run
gosh.
to the flow rider. They're going to love
I
it
love
when
it.
they can.
Start them early on that. That's for
Yes,
sure.
definitely. I'll be jealous of them because I want to, like I
Same.
said, but I don't have the balance. I can't do it.
I I'm also a little scared of that. That's okay though. But I do want to try it, just like you said. Like
Yes.
it's one of those things that's like you have to do it at least once in your life.
For the first time on all the Oasis cruises that we've been on, I
Oh my
finally
gosh.
did the zip line, which was so much fun. I'm like, why did I wait so long to do this?
Congratulations. Awesome.
Yes,
See, that's another thing about Royal Caribbean is they just have so many unique experiences. Like you have the zip line, of course, the flow rider, you have rock wall, you have like on Oasis class, the Ultimate Abyss, which is that super tall slide. You have ice skating and
right.
laser tag and whatnot. Have the kids tried the laser tag?
They have not. I don't know. I have to look back at like the age requirements for that, but they would
Okay.
love that too once they're able to do that too. They would
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
I think they
And
would.
they already talk about going on the abyss. So that's next on their checklist. Well, once they're tall enough for that, they're
Awesome.
daredevils. They'll try anything, which is really great. It's made them come out of their shell.
I love that. Yeah, I think cruising can definitely bring you out of your shell, but I think also for the parents of kids who may not necessarily be as adventurous, there's still so many options for kids. Like you don't have to
Definitely.
be the go-getter who's going and surfing and climbing rocks and all that. Like you can go to, like you mentioned, like trivia or karaoke. Cruising can absolutely be what you make it.
Definitely. I mean, they could spend even a whole day just on the pool deck. There's so much to
Yeah.
do just up there.
For sure, for sure. What is your favorite thing to do with your kids on a cruise?
That's hard because there's so much to do with them. But I think just seeing everything that they want to do, like when they want to go to the splash pad, like seeing the excitement that they have with them, you know what I mean? And we love sea days. Those are our favorites, especially on ships like Wonder and Utopia, where you have mason jar and you can go to brunch and have that
Oh.
nice, beautiful
Yeah.
background of the ocean and having a good meal and then going to the splash pad and pool afterwards and just having the best time on the ship, enjoying yourself. And now seeing the boys interact with each other because they're close in age, it's just the best time, just seeing them have such an amazing time on the ship and doing the things that they want to do.
Aw, that's really sweet. I love that. And I think another really good point with Royal Caribbean is third and fourth guests getting discounts with the cruise rates. Can you explain that a little bit and how that works?
Yes, so they definitely do that with once you have like four in a cabin, they definitely help that out. And then also kids sail free. So that really helps too when it comes to rates and cruising. I feel like it's all what you make of it, the time of year that you want to sail. But Royal Caribbean does an amazing job giving those opportunities for families to get you on the ship.
Yeah, it's definitely a really great selling point for families because of those discounts and the ability for those younger children to sail at that discounted rate. It's
Right.
is crazy.
They get a
Yeah.
discounted rate and they can enjoy everything.
Segueing into the cabins, just mom tips because we gotta give the tips for the people. If there's one thing you recommend packing as a mom for a cruise, what's the one thing that you always recommend?
Okay, I don't know if I could give you one thing because that's super hard to give one thing, but I can give a couple of things. A couple. So definitely, you know, the over the hanger like shoe organizer, that is a really good one because you can have everything there without going in the drawers all the time. And then I found the biggest struggle was the bathroom. So you know that there's most of the cabins are showers. And when the kids are young, 6-month-old isn't going to be in the shower. So we always brought an inflatable tub. That's like a huge tip to have. And then also, there's really no soap in there. It's just like the little bar soap. So we always bring like, a big thing of like hand soap and then a little stool in the bathroom too, because they can't reach the sink, and like a little drying rack for their bottles and even their water bottles now. So even things that we used when they were little kids, we use now. And then I would say one other thing is that now that there's only once a day room service, if you have any kids in diapers still, to have those like Arm& Hammer bags to put everything in there, because then, the garbage cans are super small with everything. So to have everything in there, because usually the stateroom attendants, if you see them in the hallway, you could kind of like give it to them. You know what I mean? Like they're so good with working with you. And then anything that makes it easier for you at home. Like our boys love the sound machine, so we always bring that. We have like a little sensor night light when the cabin gets dark. So that's a really good thing as well.
You're giving me things that just as an adult I should pack. Like, I didn't even think of some of this.
Right. And then the last thing is we always bring like a digital clock, because it's always like, oh, what time is it? What time is it? And you could always see everything. So one of the ones that, nice big numbers with everything, that always helps.
Yeah. Fantastic. Wow. Okay.
Couldn't give just one. There's just too much.
I'm glad you didn't just get one, because those are really good items. I mean, the step stool, I'm 5'2". I can't even reach everything. Like, let's be honest. That's just like one of those foldable ones. That's awesome. Right. Yeah. I also love that you think about being considerate to the stateroom attendants.
Yes.
Because that can go a long way, just in and of itself. You reap what you sow. Your experience can be made just with the attendants and all of the crew in itself. So to close out this amazing discussion, my goodness, it's been really awesome. What is your piece of advice for parents who are thinking about taking their kid on their first cruise?
I would say that you don't have to start out big. We started on Mariner. That was our first cruise with our son, and we took it very slow. There's so many options. I feel like we do talk a lot about the Oasis class, but there's so many other classes of ships that might be less overwhelming for first-time parents to go on. And then I would just say to just make sure that you're giving yourself grace. It's okay that you're not going to get to do everything. It's okay that you won't experience everything, but just have your top list of things you want to do. So I would research the ship before, see what it offers, and kind of come up with like a plan of what you want to do. If you want to stay on the ship, if you want to get off, if you wanted to go to Perfect Day, there's so many options. I would say that don't be afraid to book it. Go head on, do it, and then you're never going to look back, because we never did, and we have so many cruises coming up. So I think you just have to try it, and you're going to love it.
Perfectly said. That was the best snippet of advice I think anyone could give. Well, thank you so much, Jillian, for showing up and giving us a lot of insight into cruising as a family. And where can people find you on social media so they can make sure to give you support?
Yes, so you could find us on Hooked on Royal on Instagram and see our next adventure on our ship.
Perfect. Well, please give some love to Jillian. I am so glad that you were able to join us, Jillian, on the podcast. And I look forward to future sailings with you, and all the best for the kids.
Yes, we definitely have to plan one out.
I think there will be a group cruise somewhere in the future, subtly dropping this.
Right. I think so. I definitely think we're all going to have to get together.
Absolutely. It's a great community. You can't not do it.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things cruising. Thank you to the YouTube members and Patreon members who support the channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Bon voyage!